right, guys, a little bit of a different video for you today. We're going to be doing a full compound tour. What we're going to be doing is showing you guys in-depth behind the scenes of just all of our shops, all of our tracks, basically our full compound, some hidden storage units. You guys see them in the background of the videos as you watch them, but we've never actually shown you guys the layouts and what is all actually there. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Come on inside and we'll start with the main shop. So we bought this shop in 2020. It broke the bank when we got it, and we slowly renovated it as we went through a few years of ownership. But this first bay, we call it the Pine Bay. And this is mostly where we kind of hang out. Chef Jen's here right now making lunch. Set up more as just like a living space, hangout area.
Ultimate hangout spot for all the homies to come over.
Obviously, you gotta have the Viper here. It always seems to be one of Mike's cars that is sitting right here between his Subaru and then the Viper.
It looks good. It's like how often you get to park your car in the living room. So
yeah, this is front row parking.
So then over here, we got kind of all the camera equipment. So Dalton does a really good job of keeping this all organized. It's insane how many cameras we have. Like just right here, I think we have over 20 some GoPros. A lot of cameras that you're looking through right now. It's like a pretty expensive setup, and we break them all the time. We probably go through a new camera once a month to once every 2 months, just because we're filming sometimes gnarly stuff. They're getting dropped, they're getting thrown in backpacks, they're getting drug up a mountain, sometimes getting sprayed with rocks. So you go through them.
Ken has a new drone ordered before the drone hits the ground most of the time. It'll hit a tree, it'll hit the ground and kind of go, it's fine, I already have one on the way.
Yeah, but anyways, over here we got a nice big couch. This is where we'll sit after a video gets posted every Thursday. We all watch them. Fiancés, our wives, our girlfriends will come over and we'll cook, watch it. If it's like a Saturday or a Sunday, we'll watch like the Vikings games or UFC fights.
We used to throw some pretty hard parties here.
We used to throw some pretty crazy parties, but...
And the old couch that we had right here was mangled.
The old one had like 2x4s holding it together. People were having fights on it. They were just knocking the thing over, running into it.
Like I said, when we bought this shop, it broke the bank. We were scraping pennies to get by, but we still managed to scrape enough pennies together to buy this used pool table. We had our priorities. Yeah, this was like the first thing we bought and put in the shop, and this thing gets a ton of use. It used to get even more use. We used to roll a lot of dice on it, hence the ATM. The ATM right here we had installed because people would come over, they'd wanna gamble. All of a sudden it came time to pay up, and oh, like, I don't have any money on me, this, that, and we got screwed so many times that we just had an ATM installed. This thing actually dispenses cash. Getting an ATM is not as easy as you'd think. Like, it's kind of a lot of setup.
I think everyone would think it's not easy to get an ATM.
Anyways, it's totally worth it though, because now nobody owes us money.
And we also have a $5 charge fee, so every time that it gets used, not only are they paying their debts, but we're also making $5 on the back end.
Check this out though, quick pan on Jen. We'll come back to that. So that's Chef Jen. She comes every day for lunch. We'll step outside. We actually had this door installed just because it was so dark in there. We felt like we needed some light. And also we had this hot tub that we had in our first shop, and we needed to be able to get out to it.
In our first shop, literally, it was inside of our first shop.
It was sick, dude. Having the hot tub in the shop was sick. It always
got
smelled
a little
like
musty
in there. And then we turned it into more of a spa. So we have the sauna installed, and this thing is actually kind of a piece of shit, and it's even more of a piece of shit now after Gavin Shred 80 used it. Believe it or not, it's probably not that hard to believe, he broke this thing. He broke our sauna.
That guy breaks everything he touches, quite literally when you break a sauna. We used to have a little thermometer hanging right here.
No, it wasn't even hanging.
Oh,
it was sitting over there.
It was sitting over there. Yeah. Shred 80 gets in there. This dude is he's bigger than he knows, right? He's like a bull in a china shop, right? Busting things around, somehow knocked the thermometer onto that, and then it melted into that and it broke the actual heating unit in this thing.
I think he said
not sure how it happened, but things break around here. And as soon as we heard it was Shred 80, it honestly just became funny.
Made so much sense. This is what we call Evan's hot tub. And the reason why it's now Evan's hot tub is because after Evan goes in a tub like this, no one else is gonna hop in it. There ain't enough chlorine in the world.
The spot could use a little bit of work here, but we poured the concrete pad and we wanted to turn this area into the hangout area, just like the inside.
We need to get a cold plunge, but honestly doing it in the lake is just way more hardo. We utilize every bit of all of the compound that we're gonna be showing you guys today. Even this little sliver, Mike has managed to fill it up with his skate park, which I love. his skate park turned out dope. So he had this skate park built this summer.
So that's why the fire pit's covered up right now. We used to have a rainbow rail, as you guys remember Gavin trying that. When the Dern brothers were here, they hit the rainbow rail while it was on fire. And then Spenny skinnied it. Gavin attempted it a couple times on his 3-wheeler, which was insane. Good little workout out here. I bring Evan out here and get him sweating.
We know that he doesn't like your traditional form of working out, so you gotta find exercise in other ways. We're so proud of the compound that we've built out being like the ultimate fun zone, right? And between the drift track, the dirt bike tracks, all the different shops, you have to have a skate park, right? We took a lot of inspiration from people like Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, watching that growing up. That had a skate park inside the building, so we were pretty stoked when Mike was all about building his own skate park behind our shop.
One thing I do think funny about this is these crutches. So the guy who built this ramp setup at like 3 in the morning attempted the rainbow rail and broke his like foot or his leg, and Mike went and grabbed Ken's trusty crutches
my
keeps
classic crutches that I need
standby.
once a year.
And this
yeah, actually.
And anyways, he went home, and then like 3 months later, he just drove back. He lives like 4 hours away. Drove back and like just set him there. And we were like, wait, where'd these crutches come from? We checked the security cameras. He drove all the way back and returned the crutches and set them by the ramp, and we've just left him here just in case since. But that was really nice of him. He did not need to bring the crutches back.
Yeah, they're on standby for the next time that somebody needs them back here.
Oh,
Hit
close.
stall at the top. Hit stall at the top.
I can't.
Not the best skateboarders, and believe it or not, he's light years better than Evan. If Ken tried dropping in on the mini ramp, we'd be on our way to the hospital with him right now.
Those crutches wouldn't be enough. All right, so we'll come on inside. The kitchen setup isn't great. I'm sorry, Jen. She deserves something a lot better for how good her cooking is, but she makes do, and I promise we're gonna get you a better setup one of these days.
So as we said earlier, you know, when we bought the shop, we had barely enough money to make the down payment to buy this place, right? Well, we had at least another $2,000 laying around in the bank account to buy a pool table. That's pretty much what we've done for everything else that we've built on the shop. We'll make money, and then we'll buy something that we deem necessary, like a drift track. What we don't necessarily deem as necessary is a kitchen remodel. I apologize, Jen, because what we got works, right? We're extremely frugal in some ways, and then we'll blow so much money in disgusting other ways.
It makes no sense, but it makes sense to us in our business, which also makes no sense. But what you got here is steak and mashed potatoes and vegetables today. Insane lunch.
Jen has actually been one of the greatest additions to the team solely off of our health.
Come on over here.
So
Come on over here.
in Cormorant, there's about 3 restaurants, and every single day for the last 8 years before we had Jen, we would pretty much just disperse, and that would basically kill the 2 hours of productivity
And it
of
just was
filming
crap
videos.
food.
And then, yeah, we're basically just eating bar food every single day. The boys were getting tubby. I saw the comments. You guys were roasting me back in the day. Yeah, I was getting tubby, right? So bringing Jen in has not only kept the crew together, so we eat lunch together every single day.
Like a big happy family.
Yeah, Big Wrench and Gavin will come over. Justin's over here right now, and we get to eat together. So the camaraderie is good, but also we're a lot healthier. Everyone's stoked about it except for Evan. Evan doesn't wanna become healthier, but Jen is forcing him to.
I try to find things he likes.
The crumbled bacon bits.
Oh, bake-o bits.
Bacon bits that come in a little
bacon, bake-o.
bacon. Yeah, there's not even real bacon bits.
So if you come over here, we have our marble statue, which was hand chiseled and gifted to us by our friends who help us basically source our merch. This thing actually weighs 2,500 pounds. Like you cannot move it at all. Like it's going to be here forever.
And the level of detail that went into this thing is incredible. Actually, right away when we got it, we thought it was Ken because of the beard, but he's rocking the goggles. He's got the Life Wide Open on the chest here, and then obviously the big Life Wide Open with CBoys. And then the year that CBoys was founded to infinity. We plan on making these videos for a long time, which is also a reason that we continue to invest into places like the compound and everywhere else that you're gonna see in this video.
I do laugh though, because like that thing's going to outlive us. Like we're gonna have to give it to our kids, and our kids are gonna have to give it to their grandkids. Someone's gonna end up with it that doesn't want it.
If we try and move that thing, it's probably gonna break or break us. Like it's tough.
On the walls surrounding all of our shops, we have just like different pieces of memorabilia that we've collected over the last 9 years of making YouTube videos. For example, these are screens that we used to screen print t-shirts way back in the day. So you would manually screen print the shirts, and we did that for a couple years right away. But if somebody has the OG swinging sweatshirt or the C-Boy sweatshirt that we put on those camo sweatshirts, like that's a relic. That's an OG.
We didn't know what swinging meant back then, though. The only one still swinging is Ken.
Ken bought most of the inventory there.
Drink fridge right here, stocked with a variety of drinks. A lot of Two-Turn Tony, some energy drinks. Shout out Two-Turn Tony. He sends us a giant pallet of his teas every 4 months, and they surprisingly go very fast.
Hasn't been good for the productivity, but we have had a lot of fun because of them.
Fridge check, mostly just leftovers. So whatever Jen made for lunch the last few days, there's always some leftovers, which is nice because then you can eat it for dinner. But yeah, just kind of like a cabinet area, which hopefully we'll redo this soon. Makeshift sink. But right here, I think this is, you know, a spot in the shop that maybe doesn't get enough praise. And this is, I mean,
the MVP of the shop.
Yeah.
It's my second home away from home.
This is damn near your first office, Ken. So we got the no can do restroom. This thing right here, they need to send it in for testing because this thing
round of
is
applause,
a beast.
honestly. Round of
It's a
applause.
beast. I cannot believe how much this thing takes, and it just keeps on flushing.
I'm getting this thing duplicated for my house.
Are you?
Yeah, you really
but
got
with bidets, I'd imagine.
Yep. That's just an add-on.
If you guys have been watching for a while, you'll remember when we actually turned this thing into the throne.
Oh, that's
remember
right.
When we
Ken
turned it
didn't
in?
like that,
Yeah,
though.
Ken didn't like that. Don't mess with perfection. We found that out. So it stayed stock. It's the only thing we own that's stock. The toilet.
You guys will see throughout this entire tour that we spend money maybe on things that are cooler rather than more practical. Perfect example of that is our bath mat. This bath mat is actually for drying dishes. It's supposed to be out there, and someone was like, it's good enough as a bath mat, and now it's there.
I didn't even know that.
So over here, we have none other than Ryan's pinball machine, and of course, it's a Corvette pinball machine.
Has to.
It's pretty sick. We actually spent a lot of time playing this when Ryan first got it. We played it so much that it broke, and just recently got fixed.
At any hour of the day, you just hear clack, 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 clack. Like somebody was always playing this thing.
It was basically like a battle to see who could get the high score, and I believe Evan actually has the high score. He would like wake up in the middle of the night, and if he couldn't sleep, he would just start playing it.
Mike, it's Mike.
Oh, Mike!
I wasn't trying to be cocky, but
And then right here we got a variety of Papios, pit bikes, a lot of them, but believe it or not, we're actually short one Papio, and it is none other than Mike's Papio. He has so many motorcycles and just
I
stuff
lost it.
that he managed to lose a motorcycle. How is that possible?
Well, there's a couple things that can
You
happen.
lost a motorcycle. How do you misplace a
Well,
motorcycle?
what if it got stolen?
Okay, it more than likely got stolen.
On the topic of stealing, we have 75 security cameras plastered around this compound and in the other ones that we're gonna get to in the videos, and they are crystal clear. So please, if you want to come over and take something that isn't yours, just know we have 25 cameras in 4K that will get your identity, and you will get caught. Thanks to Ken.
this guy,
you know Ken was responsible for that.
Every single square inch of this property is covered.
I don't even want to know how much we spent on security cameras. Ken does not cheap out on security cameras.
Well, we had a couple little incidents that made us up the security.
It is nice because we use them for videos a lot of times too, because they are so crystal clear. But moving on over into this. So when we built the shop out, this was part of the addition that we did. We have a lot of stuff, and we try and keep it as clean as possible, and most of us are hoarders, and this is kind of one way to try and keep things a little bit more organized. And also, when you show up to work, you never know when you might need a white tuxedo for something, right? So this is Ken's. He's got it on standby.
You got to be prepared for every opportunity.
Right, that's right. And then right over here, we have Evan's bedroom, which currently needs a new door. Our trainer kicked it in because Evan was slacking. So he kicked the door in. Last you saw it, it was converted into a gym. We actually converted it back. He hasn't been back since. He's actually in Nashville right now. Decided no more bunk beds. He's a big kid now, and I think he should not have bunk beds. So we took the top bunk away. I think he actually was happy that we moved it out and moved it back in, because he did have a lot of junk that he admitted. He was like, I had a lot of clutter. I needed to go through it anyway. So
He was due for a good cleanse. Something that's really interesting about Evan is he doesn't believe in the stock market or bonds or cryptocurrency and, you know, your typical forms of investment. He believes in investing his money into things like Etnies shoes that
Looks like a Walmart shoe.
are not going to be produced again. So they quit making Etnies shoes, and Evan thinks that they're going to go up in value,
They are.
which they actually are going up in value.
Yeah, dude, this room brings back some memories. I used to live in this black hole for 2 years, and I got woken up many, many times when I was sleeping in too late by water, ketchup, mustard, flour, whatever else you can think of.
Dude, this room has taken a beating.
It has.
Does
I think
have a-
Evan's made a lot more memories in here than I have, but like, pretty legendary little pine room.
Evan really only stays here 2 to 3 days a week typically. He actually lives, he has a house like 3 hours away from us that he obviously goes, and then he has his girlfriend and his family there. He normally is at his house, but when he's out here filming, this is his room.
On top of collecting the Etnies shoes, Evan also collects skateboards, which is oddly funny because he's the worst skateboarder I know.
Evan's good at everything but skateboarding, and I'm sorry,
No,
Ev. He tries, but he's good at everything else.
He can hit the mini ramp just fine. Just don't ask him to kickflip.
We got the world's tallest pit bike right here, and then making our way into the main shop here. When we first bought this place, there used to be a wall that separated this bay from this bay, and this was kind of just cold storage over here. We tore the wall down by CJ driving a smart car through it, and then once we had the entire bay opened up, it was just obviously a lot bigger space, but it was pretty plain, and it had this crazy echo to it. So we were like, what could we do to utilize the space by one, making it look cooler, having it sound better on camera, and also just like using more of the space to what we needed to do. We had this idea to put the shipping containers in there. So back in 2018, we got to go to the legendary Ken Block's shop, and he was actually the first guy to use these shipping containers in kind of like a way of using them for like stylistic purposes. And then after we got to go to that shop, we were like, oh, if we ever have the space to do that, it'd be so cool to incorporate the shipping containers into one of our future shops. So once we had the space, we got them in here, we painted them red. Red's kind of our color. And not only do they look awesome from the outside, but they serve as a great purpose of hiding our junk.
I don't really show this off, and you can see why.
Yeah, you can see why. So we got parts in the back. We got different props that are Halloween costumes, or you know, we're dressing up for something. And then we got obviously all of our snow gear, all of our moto gear, an insane amount of helmets, shoes, boots, stuff that's pretty difficult to keep organized, but if we put it in the shipping container,
hide it away,
and close the door, well, it's a problem for another day, right? And then on the inside here, what's great about having the 2 shipping containers on each side, it kind of forced us to be more organized with the tools, right? So anybody that has a garage or a shop, you know how easy it is to misplace tools. And this way, we know exactly where things are getting worked on and where tools need to be. These toolboxes are definitely the cheaper tools that we could afford at the time when we first got the shop, allocating our money towards, you know, other things like pool tables, right? So we got your classic just craftsman tools, DeWalt tools over here. They serve their purpose, they do a great job, and then we spent a little bit more money on our new shop that we'll get to later in the tour. When you click on a CBoys video and you see the red shipping containers with the hex lights up here, you know that you're watching a CBoys video, which is pretty cool because that's what we wanted to establish when we were making this. Is just like a really recognizable setting in a scene.
Nowadays, we don't do a lot of just builds in this space. We'll get to it later, but the farm shop is more set up for wrenching, fabricating. Just smaller little projects happening here now, so you really don't need the best of the best tools. Shit, we've made it work for a long time with what we had over there, so.
Yeah, you don't always need the best. So one thing that does get worked on in here is the dirt bikes. So we're super close to the dirt bike track. It's just down the road over that way. So all the dirt bikes live in this shop right here, and it's crazy. There's a lot of them. Starting with Mike's 500 two-stroke build that we surprised him with here. We got Dalton's bike, Mike's bike, my bike, a bunch of Starks, and then the back row is a whole bunch of electric bikes. These Altus bikes are the absolute most fun that you can have on the new modern day e-bikes, and we're pretty obsessed with them, so we have a lot of them.
And then we use this car storage lift basically as just making more space. So you could have a car up here and then obviously a car down below, but we just did dirt bike. And then we use it as an elevator to get up there where we store more stuff. Under here, we have a gym. So we've moved it all back out of Evan's room here, and it doesn't get used a ton just because normally if we're going to the gym, we're gonna go to the actual gym. You can do a lot more there, but for a shop gym, this definitely gets the job done. And normally when we're posting a video, I won't have as much time to get to the gym. I'll maybe rip a few sets in here, but yeah, it's nice to have. Evan's bike, of course.
Evan's bike.
Looking chintzy as ever.
And then Evan's treadmill.
Glad to see it's still kicking, man.
Yeah, right. The gym.
Toss me the cam. I think the funniest thing about this storage area up here is that it's just a designated area for the watercross sled. The watercross sled realistically could go into the barn, but nope. It's gotta be up here on the mezzanine next to Ben's office. Other than that, there's just random stuff up there. Very unorganized.
Above here, I want to give a shout out to our very first sign. This thing damn near tore us apart. Shout out to Joe's Garage. He built this thing. It's custom, one of one, and extremely heavy. Basically, Jake was talking with him and he had it all set up that he was going to surprise us with this sign. We thought it was going to cost us $1,500, and we were already like, that's a lot of money. And then it ended up costing $3,500, which is a really good deal for a custom sign like that. But for us at the time, we're like, we do about $3,500 for a sign.
Yeah.
And we were all pissed, and then it ended up working out.
And then in the final bay, right now it's just being used as car storage, but this actually used to be where all the merchandise got shipped out of for the last 4 years. So we did kind of get to the point where we just outgrew it. We didn't have any more space left, and you'll see later in the video where we have to have a merch operation now. But yeah, now it's just strictly car storage and just kind of random odds and ends junk.
It is crazy that we used to fit it all in here, and at one point it was just half of this. But yeah, now it's just kind of more premium storage for some of the cooler cars that maybe don't get driven as much. Obviously, we got Evan's Lamborghini over here. That thing is so freaking sick.
You got to keep the batteries on these things, and Evan will just pull it in, not put it on the trickle charger, and then the battery will die.
Ken's Continental.
Got my baby, just got her back and all fixed up. So.
What happened to it?
It's leaking oil right now.
It's leaking less oil because so when Evan and Gavin decided they were going to steal it at Micah's wedding, they blew one of the seals out of a power steering line, so it was just spraying oil everywhere, but got it fixed. It's leaking less oil than it was before, still leaking, but she's an old girl.
Ken's basically gonna just start renting this thing out to weddings. He's already got 3 of them planned for next year.
Yeah, got 2 weddings this year, so hopefully we can get fully booked up.
That's how he's recouping his
cost.
costs, yeah, exactly. And then over here, Evan's donk that we surprised him with. This thing doesn't get as much love as it should, but it's so sick. I always love bringing people back here because they always see this and they're like, is that a donk? Yeah, it's Evan's donk. Checks out.
Drive Me written in the dust. We got my Evo back here, Mike's BMW, just some miscellaneous stuff from videos. All right, so we'll head upstairs. So all the stuff up here is all offices, and then the podcast studio, which is pretty cool because when you're up there, you're looking down, you can kind of see everything going on.
Before we head upstairs, we did add a second bathroom, which it turned out pretty cool. We've got the 55-gallon barrel sink and the keg urinal, and obviously the throne. To be honest, the keg urinal and barrel sink were a better idea on paper because this thing like sprays water and urine everywhere.
I wouldn't say it's optimal.
No, it's definitely not the optimal setup, but it does look cool to have a keg in the bathroom. It's kind of a vibe in here, honestly.
Aesthetics were on point, functionality pretty bad.
Kind of like the wash station. So we got a pressure washer set up, a work sink, all of like the soaps and ceramics and all that. And then there's a drain, which is actually underneath Ryan's car. So it's really nice for just washing your car. Obviously you got really good lighting and drying it off and all that.
So when we had opened up this bay and it was a big blank canvas basically, we wanted to put in the shipping containers, but then we also wanted to utilize the space on top of the shipping containers. So that's when we kind of drew out the master plans for the offices and then the podcast studio, which we'll show you here.
First up is Ken's office. Ken went with a different style in his. He got wood walls and hardwood floors.
Got a nice little palm tree and a little skull, but yeah, I don't want the carpet in mine because I hate carpet, but
It's carpet. We'll move on into my office. Pretty standard setup in here. Do all the editing for the podcast and stuff like that. I've got my window stickers for all the cars I've lost money on. You know, just as a reminder, you're having a hard day at work, you look over and go, yep, Gotta keep working.
That's why I'm working. I'm losing money on all the cars that I'm buying. That's why I'm here. Moving on down. So this used to be Mike's office. And then when we hired Dalton on, Mike moved over to the farm property, which is where a lot of the merch gets done. And Mike's the designer for the merch. So he does that. And then Dalton working on the videos. Makes more sense to have him at this shop.
I set it up so it has 360 spatial audio, so when I'm editing, basically sound effects, I can change where they're playing from.
That is actually crazy. I did not know that.
It sounds like he's editing freaking Transformers in here when I'm next door.
Dude, Dalton hands down has the nicest office.
He put the most time in.
The most time, like the amount of details and just like bouginess and knickknacks that you
Look,
put
he's
in.
got lines in his freaking
Bro,
couch.
he's got literally lines on the couch. Like he's yeah, he's definitely got the bougiest setup here. And then on the end over here, we have the guest bedroom. So we pretty much have a revolving door of homies staying at the shop. And so we have 2 beds, and then on the wall in the back, our buddy Rich.
He spends a lot of time in here, so we wanted to honor him by having a mural painted of him inside the room. But it's kind of just set up like a hotel room. I mean, you got 2 beds, you got the thing in the middle, TV right there. It's not a bad place to stay, and clearly isn't, because there seems to be someone staying here every week. We have someone new here, and whether they're filming with us or just hanging out, we always got a room for them, which is nice.
Even got cigarettes on deck for Rich next time he comes.
We are gonna have to put in some air conditioning. We've been cheap on the guest up until this point. There's no heat in this room and there's no air conditioning, so we're gonna have to ball out and pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
We've put it off for 5 years.
Something cool though is that you can kind of just overlook everything. I love how like you walk out and you're up above and open. Very cool how this all turned out. Yeah, we got Ben's very first dirt bike kind of on display here. Some Life Wide Open gear, which is dropping soon. We're heading towards my office, the podcast studio, but honorable mention, this was our very first shifter cart. It was kind of our first video that ever got some traction. It was actually our 3rd video we ever posted. And when I mean traction, it got like maybe 1,000 views. You know, when you got 7 subscribers and you get 100 views, you're pumped. And it just kind of started snowballing. It was like 1,000, then it was 2,000, 10,000, 20,000. I think it maybe got like 100,000 views in the first year, which was huge for us. And I think it gave us a lot of motivation to just keep going. And I mean, ever since then, over 9 years now, we've been posting a video once a week, a podcast once a week for the last 5. And before that, we used to do 2 videos a week on this main channel. We got our CboysTV 1 million subscriber plaque. This is my office right here. Nothing too crazy. It's not as cool as Dalton's. One cool thing I do have is a signed Rob Dyrdek skateboard. I'm a big Rob Dyrdek fan. Right here is where I do my editing. So we actually have an editor. His name is Pat, and he goes through and edits the bulk of the main video. He spends the most time. Big shout out to Pat. He's an absolute grinder and he does a great job. And then he sends the file to Ben and I, and we go through and refine it some more. And then as far as the cinematics, Dalton makes all that. So we have a total of 4 editors working on these videos around the clock. Pat is editing 5 days a week, and then myself, Ben, and Dalton will all spend 1 day on Thursday going through it and refining even more. So like we're trying over here, we're doing our best, but 1 video a week is kind of where we're at. We're capped out. The last cool thing I got is Cheap Car Challenge trophy. Shout out Ryan, my partner, and Spenny. He's not here right now, but we won the Cheap Car Challenge, and we got these trophies.
And then over here, this is where all the footage gets transferred. So between these hard drives right here, I think we have about 10 terabytes of CboysTV footage.
This is cute. It looks like a JCPenney's photo.
I'm like just about to tell it, and then I'm like, ah, Ben's got it. It's our Big Mac. This is just a giant paperweight that was too expensive at the time we bought it to justify throwing it away. So now it's just for looks.
And then this is like our gift wall on the back side here. So Axel Hodges gave us his jersey, signed that. Dr. David, this was more for Gavin, but Gavin, keep it up, little buddy. This sign right here, Seamen established 2024. Pretty much since we created CboysTV and back in the day, everyone's always been saying, oh, what are you guys gonna do when you grow up? Are you gonna change your name to Seamen? Classic, hilarious, right? So we have a retirement fund created for the company for all the employees that we put money into, and we named it the Seamen account. So when we pull money from that in 35 years, whenever we're able to, it'll be called the Seamen investment account.
And it's legit too. Like, I get mail every month that says Seamen Retirement Fund, and Alex is like, here you go. But behind me, we got to blur all this. This is our whiteboard that, I'm going to step over here so we don't have to keep blurring. That is our whiteboard that has basically 2 months worth of videos planned out on it. So we sit down as a team in the podcast studio when we're not shooting a podcast. We have Big Wrench, we have Gavin, Dalton, everyone a part of the team comes and we brainstorm, and then we figure out the logistics of how to make these videos happen. Some of these things that we're working on will take 2 months of planning in advance, and you're maybe filming throughout it, and then at the same time we're trying to post every week, so you need to be able to figure out what you can do in the meantime to work that. So like, we'll be filming anywhere from 3 to 4 videos at a time throughout a week. Kind of hard to keep straight, but we seem to manage to do it. And then behind us is the podcast studio. So if you guys haven't listened to the podcast, Life Wide Open podcast with CboysTV, you can listen to literally anywhere. It's on YouTube. We post one of those every week on Tuesday morning. Ryan mans that. I'll let him take it over here.
Sweet, this is the podcast studio setup. It's kind of hard to tell on the podcast studio cameras, but we've kind of got a low ceiling in here. It's kind of a cozy little room.
It's not tall people friendly. Let's just put it that way.
I actually forget that there's a low ceiling. Yeah. Like, this is just fine for me.
This room, we weren't really sure what to do with it originally. I think it was going to become a movie theater.
We were going to make it into a movie theater.
And then we're like, oh, let's try to do something more productive. What if we started a podcast? And then boom, 3 years later, a couple 100,000 subscribers over there. So pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys supporting us on
we
that.
got a diehard fan base on the Life Wide Open podcast. It's crazy just to see how big it has gotten, and we love doing it. I have a lot of fun doing it. So if you haven't listened to a podcast, go check it out.
We have some cool memorabilia, actually. This is one of Ken Block's rally wheels. He ran this in a race. We went to his shop, and they were actually able to give us 4 of them. So we have them scattered around the shop as decoration. Brought in the shipping container theme. We got a red one over here, a blue one in that corner.
And then lastly, making our way over into the corner of the shop, here's my office. So this is where I come to edit, and this is pretty much all I do in here. So one day a week I'll spend in the office. Other than that, I'll just be bouncing around in everyone else's offices. Right here is fake money. It looks real. Every time somebody comes in here, they think I'm just flexing on them, but it's not. That's fake money. This is a steering wheel for my Lamborghini Urus that is now just wall decor. Oh, the butt cheeks. Yeah, you like that? Frankie LaPena's butt cheeks. Then in the corner over here, this is actually the very first t-shirt that we had screen printed. So back in like 2016, we used to screen print our own shirts, and this is the very first one that we did. So
On a $2 shirt from Walmart.
yeah, Hanes Comfort Soft. Hung it up on the wall. It's just a reminder of how far we've come. Also, I have a whiteboard in my office. If you have a business and you don't use whiteboards, get them, because it'll revolutionize the way that you think, and it'll revolutionize the way that you organize your thoughts onto a piece of whiteboard like this, because it's so much different than just actually typing it into your phone or onto a computer. When you're actually writing it on the whiteboard, it's like that's half of the work, is just taking an idea and putting it on something physical. So
I think that's it for the main shop. Now we'll head outside and go check out the pit bike track.
What's up, guys? Little break in the compound tour to tell you about one of my favorite sponsors of the channel, Upside. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back on things like groceries, gas, and dining. I seriously do not go to a gas station to fill my vehicles up unless I can get cash back on Upside. How else do you think I'm gonna stay Money Mike? We'll put some premium in. So once you've downloaded the Upside app, getting cash back could not be easier. You're gonna go ahead and check into the gas station that you're at. In this case, Cenex in Lake Park, Minnesota. You're gonna tell Upside which card you used to pay, and the cash back will be on its way. Woo, 113 bucks to fill that up. You bet I'm happy that Upside's getting me cash back. They've given over $1 billion back to their users, and to find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app. Use our promo code CBoys to get 25 cents off every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's promo code CBoys to get 25 cents off every gallon on your first tank of gas. Thank you so much, Upside, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the compound tour.
Before we get to the pit bike track, we actually just had these signs installed. Pretty proud of these. They're on every single property, every single entrance of every single property.
and they are stout.
Yeah, don't run a vehicle into this thing. Gavin put the post like literally like 5 feet down. Like if someone drifts the corner in the winter and hits this, like you might total your car.
Yeah, it's gonna end bad.
We love you all, but it just got so ridiculous. Like there was people showing up 2-3 times a day, and we'd be trying to film, and they'd be like, "Hey, can we get a tour?" And we'd be like, "Oh, well, we're kind of trying to make a video, and we're on a pinch, and we got, you know, 3 million people think we already don't post enough." So this is our pit bike track. This was our very first spot that we ever built our own track. The shop that we're at right now, the main shop, the lot lines go out to these trees and then across. So we didn't have a ton of room to work with, so we built a dirt bike track with a little bit of the remaining space. It's more of a pit bike track, but there's been many iterations of it. There's probably been, what, 4 now? 5?
I'd say 4 or 5.
And that's actually how we met Rich, our legendary track builder. Shout out Rich. He ended up becoming our friend, even though now he's too big for us and he's on HBO.
I think my favorite memory of this track was right after we had first built it. One of our neighbors that lives over there came over to see, like, oh, let me check out the new track. And this had been like right after we had got done meeting the neighbors and telling them that we're not big idiots, despite what everyone thinks. And Ryan proceeded to run into Mike directly in front of him.
And his kid.
Oh. Like, I'm pretty sure Mike's like, oh, and Ryan gets mad and throws his helmet, and the guys are just like,
splashes the mud. Mike was
it's
mud.
Mike in the eye then? Yeah, that's
Dude,
right.
the craziest memory. Honestly, that one kind of got passed over, but yeah.
I don't know if it was on camera.
Thankfully, we have buffed it out with the neighbors on that side. Not over there.
Yeah, this guy, as you guys saw last winter, we rode on his snow a little bit, and he came over and freaked out at us. So we did go, I guess, technically over the property line. We rode on his snow. So
It was his drift.
we will never do that again. He got mad. He called the cops. I mean, there's a video on it.
It was a whole ordeal.
I
But
feel like nowadays, though, as far as like the neighbors go, it's pretty nice because everything's electric. I mean, half the bikes in there that you saw are electric now, which makes it way quieter. You wouldn't even know that we're out here riding. I mean, and they got lights on them, so you could literally ride at like 1 in the morning.
we actually have had a lot less problems with the neighbors as of lately.
Ryan got ran over by his quad right there. We jumped a smart car into a pool right there.
Evan ran a golf cart into Ben's truck over there.
And when Ben grinded the smart car, that was legendary, and I think we've kind of forgot about that.
The
That
original
was
Rainbow
sick.
Rail was living out here.
Yeah, we were grinding
Did I
shit.
grind the smart car?
Yeah, you did.
No,
You
I
go-
just jumped it.
No, you grinded
grinded
it, bro.
it, did
You
I?
forgot
Yeah.
it. You jumped it the week before, and then you grinded it the week after. We've done a lot of stuff.
We've done so much stuff. It's hard to remember all of it.
The Hummer did it too. Can't
Oh
forget
yeah,
that.
Ryan's Hummer did it. We can't forget that.
Did you say that?
We really have used the 2 acres that we have here to like the absolute max.
If you're wondering what Evan does off camera, this is the track maintenance is kind of his job. No one gave it to him, but we're
just
happy he does it.
Hops
He
in the
takes
skid steer and just starts like changing jumps, making them bigger. I think we're gonna move on to the big track. We'll hop in a truck just because it is far enough where we don't want to walk there, but it's only really 200 yards that way.
All right, up next we got our 40 acres that has our 3 tracks on it. So if you go from a sky view here, you see our pit bike track, and then you see this thin piece of land, which is our neighbor, who we thought we were cool with. Turns out we are not. And then we have our 40 acres right here. So honestly, you can kind of see where he would be upset with us. He has dirt bike tracks on both sides of his house, and unfortunately, they do not want to sell. We would love to buy them out one day and have this whole piece of land, but until then, he's gonna be surrounded. Right here, we are standing on the rallycross track, which was actually the second track that we built, but after we had gotten the 40 acres, we first built the motocross track. The fact that we were able to get 40 acres right next to the shop was insanely lucky. Popped up on Zillow, we jumped on it right away, and then we got this for I think $200,000, which was a crazy buy.
deal.
A crazy buy. It was probably the best money that we've ever spent as far as what we got in return. We built the very first motocross track, and when we built the first track, we wanted it to be somewhat usable for dirt bikes, cars, side-by-sides, four-wheelers. So it's not the craziest jumps. As you guys saw when Axel Hodges was out here, he was making it look like a pit bike track. As far as everything that we use on it, they're more than big enough.
Oh, hold on. They're not the craziest jumps if you're Axel Hodges. If you're a normal person or even a above average rider, they're plenty big.
Yeah, I mean,
think.
there's still like a 125-foot gap in the back. And then the second track that we built out here is this rallycross track, which is what we wanted for more just cars. So when we bring beater cars out here or school buses out here, WRXs, we have a track that we can actually hit jumps without completely blowing out the suspension. Ken found out what it was like going around the track in a school bus. So it really does work for everything. And then the third addition to out here, the enduro cross track that our boy Spenny built. Spenny's rehabilitating his arm right now, so the track has not gotten a whole lot of use. But again, we wanted to build a track that was going to be able to take any vehicle that we build out here, and then you can take it through the rock section, you can take it over the logs, over the big cement pipes in the back. All the tracks that we have are pretty much just meant to test and see how much we can do with these vehicles that we build until they break, because they always break.
One thing about out here is it's got a little bit of everything. There is that patch of trees there as well, and we found out when we first got the land and we went exploring on it that there's actually an old house on there. You can see the foundation. There's a bunch of garbage and just little sheds and stuff. But yeah, we made some just trails through there. And then recently we added a pond to the moto track. So there's a well that pumps water into it so we can keep it full. We have plans as far as with the shipping container. We want to build that out, make like a zip line, possibly a diving board.
And it's got a nude beach, yeah, Ken's nude beach. Over here, we have pretty much the rail of death. It has gotten hit one time by Micah on the Razor. It totaled out the Razor. Micah got his bell rung pretty hard. Pretty much ever since then, everyone's been afraid to hit it. Rightfully so. It's pretty gnarly. So it sits there until somebody basically has the balls to hit it again.
It used to sit at 6 feet tall. Now it sits at about 3 feet tall, and no one still wants to hit it.
And then over here, we also have our fake Lamborghini that is up on a pole about 25 feet up in the air that just replaced Ryan's Hummer pontoon that has been up on the pole for the last 3 years. Initially, we put this pole in because we wanted to play a prank on Ken. Ken had just gotten a new Bronco Raptor, and we thought it'd be funny to get the crane to come out here and crane Ken's Bronco up onto this pole.
You know.
As you do. As you do. And then after we had done that, Ken obviously wanted to take his Bronco down, and we thought it would be funny to replace it with Ryan's Hummer that we converted into a pontoon. That's what we did. We put this Hummer pontoon up on this pole 25 feet up in the air, and it pretty much became a cormorant monument. All day, every single time that I'd drive by, there would be somebody parked on our road just looking at what was going on right there. The issue with it, it was super confusing. If you didn't know what you were looking at, you couldn't quite put two and two together. We were like, maybe we should replace it with something that's a little less confusing, like a fake lifted Lamborghini. And so that's what we did.
Honestly, I think the Hummer looked better up there.
It looked a little more proportionate.
Yeah, it did.
It looks so small.
It's small.
Yeah.
We used to have to travel all over the state just to film these videos because of the lack of places that we could go and ride things. So when we got this 40 acres, it completely changed the way that we were able to film these videos, and honestly, it revolutionized our YouTube videos and just our business in general.
It also made a lot more space for us to store our junk. Ev's Chev is still parked over there. And of course Mike's water truck. That's not junk though.
Yeah, this is a humble abode is this track.
I think the last thing to touch on about this lot of land is the natural pond that is over there. It's just right on the edge of our property. It's great for just being able to test dirt bikes out there on the ice, or if you need to throw a jet ski in, or if you need to water skip something, or you know, possibly you want to test the hovercraft. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been very handy, so we don't have to go to like an actual lake.
Everyone loves the pond except for Evan. Falling through the ice.
We built that ice course too with all the ice blocks.
That's really why that pond too is so useful, is just the fact that you couldn't build and like cut blocks and build an ice course like we did last winter on a public lake, because that'd be actually like pretty dangerous
hazard.
Just inconsiderate. But on our private pond, you can do that.
We're gonna head to the storage unit that we've never shown on camera, but kind of just keeps a lot of the toys that are out of season.
All right, we are at one of our storage units.
This is what we call the cold storage unit. We picked it up just after we acquired our 40-acre track. We didn't have honestly an extra inch for storage in our main shop because we had all of our off-season toys. Basically everything that we owned was in that shop. So we bought this to store all of our off-season toys.
Dude, I actually forget what's in here. Every time I walk in here, I just feel like a little kid, like get giddy, dude. It's so sick.
It's like a savings bank account. It's like you hide this stuff from yourself and then you're like, oh yeah, we do have that.
Bro, it's so dope. These are all brand new snowmobiles because we haven't had snow the last 3 winters.
It is nice because like we'll get to our barn that we use for storing a lot of stuff, but most of the stuff in there is kind of just borderline junk, but it's nice enough that you want to put it inside. We try to keep the nice stuff here. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I always forget we have it too, and sometimes I'll just stop over here and like look around. If I'm feeling a little down, I'm like, man, this is sick.
Yeah, it straight up feels like a snowmobile dealership floor in here. These 2 race sleds have brand new motors in them because the last time we rode them, we had them in the sand dunes, blew both of them up. So these are brand new too. I guess the only one that adds a little bit of mileage is Mike's mountain sled here. Oh, Ev's sled in the back. That thing has actually worked.
Dude, I have a snowmobile in Montana right now in a storage unit, just in case.
Just in case. You never know when you might need a snowmobile in Montana.
If you're ever watching and you think about commenting, do more snowmobiling, please comment. But we would love to. But last year it literally did not snow. So unfortunately these things sat here parked. It's just the unfortunate reality of living in Minnesota.
Saw the forecast for this winter though, and supposedly there should be some good snow coming.
Farmer's Almanac is saying that.
I mean, we'll be able to at least ride these trail sleds around here.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, we do get some snow. A couple more trusty steeds, the Harleys.
This is a place where we definitely store all of our stuff that you don't want anyone to see, like Ken's patio furniture and stuff like that.
I'm taking this for my office.
Whose
dude.
tree
I need
is
this?
That's my tree. You can have it.
Was this in the podcast video?
No.
It's all fair game. There's 5 of us. And, you know, we own all these properties together. Well, let's just say some of the 5 are more hoarders than others. Have more things than others,
Dude,
right?
I have no more stuff in here than anybody else.
Here. But with that being said, we all share these spaces. So it's not all distributed evenly between whose vehicles take up the most space, but it's all for the greater good.
Can I add to that? What did I say earlier about we try to keep the nice stuff in here?
Yeah, you guys talking about my jet ski?
Yeah, what is the jet ski doing here? I was more so just talking why most of your stuff's not in here.
We got some of CJ's junk in here too. We got his old GTR exhaust, his
Yeah,
melted
you never know when you might need that.
his half melted bumper, which actually that one you might want to hang on the wall someday.
You could get rid of that stuff you guys want.
Mike's got a roof for a Bronco that he doesn't own anymore.
One of these days, we are going to do a clear out sale. I don't know when it's
be-
coming, but it's going to be big when we do.
It's gonna
Comment
be
down
painful.
below if you come to our auction.
Yeah, we need to stop buying storage units and start selling stuff. But you never know when you might need something. And it's worth more to us in content than it is money in the bank. So that's why we don't sell it.
I actually got a pretty funny story about this property that has to do with Ryan. So, this spring when he bought his Corvette drift car, he was hiding it from everyone. He put it here.
Yep.
Well, I guess he was testing it out and like doing burnouts and drifts on the gravel into here.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, the property owner that manages like the sheds units here texts me and is like, tell your guys to quit doing burnouts and all this stuff.
High-powered burnout.
Yeah, he was like pissed. And I go, none of my guys would ever do that. We have a drift track. You think we're gonna go over there and dick around in your parking lot? And I'm like sending laughing faces and like talking shit back. And I just basically left it at, well, why don't you get some cameras? I bet you'll find them. But it wasn't us. And then it turns out it was us.
Hope it isn't your guys coming out here and doing high-powered burnouts and up the road. God help anybody I catch.
Yeah, he was pissed.
To be fair, if you guys saw it, it looks like how we would normally drive in our driveway. I wasn't doing no high-powered burnouts.
I think it's
Why
funny.
am I coming over here doing burnouts on gravel?
That's why I say
Hey,
he
if it
would
was
never
one
do
of
that.
us, dude, if it was one of us, Ryan would be on that guy's side and he'd be
Ryan
like,
would
I
be
know,
so
they are
pissed.
so stupid, it hurts my brain to even think about it. But it's funny because it's Ryan.
I think the last thing I'll say is when I was sitting there texting this guy back. We were all together and Ryan was pretty quiet.
I remember saying, I was like, well, I don't know. It might have been me. I think I owned up to it right away. I was like, no, he's definitely talking about me. I just didn't want to be like, it was me in my new Corvette.
All right, well, moving on to the farm property. All right, so we're just driving past our old shop actually that we bought before the C-Boys HQ. Each place that we show you today, starting with the HQ to the pit bike track, to the moto track, to the storage unit, we bought in that order. So we just continued to save up money and invest it back into the company, and then eventually building up a little bit more money, being able to purchase another property, and then eventually ending with the farm property that we're going to was our latest and biggest purchase, and then all the buildings that are on that property. But it's crazy to think that it all started with renting this shop right here. This shop really just gave us our footing and foundation for making the videos and figuring out how to do this whole YouTube thing. And we made it all work out of this 40 by 40 building right here. And when we got that building, that was an upgrade from what we had before that, coming from Ken's uncle's garage that we had a little corner space to use, my parents' loft above their garage, into our first college house that we commandeered the living room and the kitchen and all these different areas of the house to grow the business, and then eventually going into that shop. So that shop was like monumental for what we were doing, and so it's really crazy to look at what we have now off of where it all started.
That place was sick too, dude. That thing was set up so cool. It just was, we just outgrew it. All right, so we're pulling up on the farm compound now. So this is on about 30 acres of land. We just had the driveways asphalted. As you guys saw a few videos ago, we're greeted by this beautiful sign right here. Having this driveway is so clutch. It's just so smooth. It feels like you're driving on a racetrack, which I mean, it is kind of half a racetrack, half driveway. I think we'll start with the drift track right in front of us.
So like CJ said, we just had the asphalt for the driveway installed, but before we did that, we invested $250,000 into this drift track here. So it used to be just basically a field and a bunch of trees. Our buddy Rich, who has built all of our other tracks, came in here, helped us take all the trees out, and then level this all out to make the drift track. But we didn't want to make just a normal drift track because there's only so much you can do with just sliding cars around to make it entertaining. And making these YouTube videos, we're trying to make them as entertaining as possible. So we thought, how can we up the ante? And that's by making a drift track have trees surrounding it.
And how'd that pay out?
Man, did it ever up the ante.
Oh! Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm
Are
okay.
you okay?
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
All right.
Hey,
I'm all right. I'm all right. Didn't go well. We found out what can happen when you do have trees on a drift track. Our Unicorn replica is currently being rebuilt right now, thankfully. But yeah, totaled the car out, messed me up pretty good. Wasn't ideal. But the drift track is sick. Obviously, the flat drift track right here, more of a parking lot area for sliding around. And then behind me, we wanted to incorporate a drift bank into it somehow. So I've never seen anybody else do this, but we basically had them just asphalt up the hill, and it kind of serves as just a giant bowl. So it's kind of like a toilet bowl into the main drift area, but you can come and swing up the wall here. You could do a grind at the top of it. And yeah, it's just like an added element, just like the trees are, to make the drift track even more interesting.
One of those things that everybody says when they see it for the first time in person, they go, oh, this is really steep. It apparently doesn't look that steep on camera, but it does feel pretty cool to slide up it.
It's got the loop that goes around the trees on that side, and then it goes up the hill this way. So we wanted to have a figure eight to just add a couple corners in. So there's so many different angles of the drift track that you can, you know, make it look different when you're swinging it this way or swinging it that way. It's just another cool added element that we just built it into this field.
It's really beautiful out here at night, actually, because the sun sets this way. And if you stand at the top, you're just like, wow, this is so sick. And we'll put a picture up of it. But
we were debating whether or not we wanted to asphalt this part of the driveway and just save the money, because that way over there just kind of goes out to the public road, so you don't really come in that way. But we decided to asphalt this entire strip to make it like our own personal drag strip. So it's about an 1/8 mile from all the way down there to over that hill over there. Ryan has the current record of going 97 miles per hour
97,
on it.
yeah.
The goal is to hit 100 miles per hour. Yeah, we'll see which vehicle we have that can do that. But yeah, we have our own personal drag strip along with the drift track.
It's got to be the sketchiest 8th mile drag strip ever. Like, it's not
flat.
Yeah, it's driveway
narrow.
flat. It's not drag strip flat, and it also goes by our main shop.
It's not ideal, but yeah, we're working with the space that we got. All right, before we make our way into the building, the other cool thing about the property itself is, like CJ said, it's 30 acres, and we've been able to utilize pretty much every single acre on this property, whether it's, you know, the drag strip, the drift track, and then the field over there. You think, oh, it's just an empty field, what can you do with that? Well, when you have 100 people come out and help mow the field, doing videos like that, we've been able to use the most of our land.
One thing we still have that's pretty open is all of the land up there, and then we use these trees a lot. These are really nice evergreens that the previous owner planted, but they mostly just get ran over by vehicles. We've lost like probably 20 trees just from hitting them over the years. What is it? We've been here for what, 3 years?
We got about another 3 or 4 before they get thick enough where they're actually going to do a lot of
fighting back. So this is what we call the farm. And my favorite part about our naming process for all of our properties, we have the shop, we have the farm, we have the barn, we have the warehouse, we have the track, we have the drift track. We keep it really simple around here. So this is the farm. This is our second shop where we kind of did everything that we didn't do at the main shop. But one thing that we did do that's the same is the shipping containers. This time though, we decided to paint them blue so you can differentiate them on camera.
So after we had purchased the building, it was basically just a blank slate. It was all open. It was actually all white. The only thing that was standing in here was these 3 rooms right
We
here.
ended up taking one of the rooms out now.
Some K-truck demolition we did.
Yeah, so we took one of the rooms out with the K-trucks, which was insanely entertaining. And then we ended up re-tinning the entire inside of it from white to black because we thought it would look cooler, which it does. We built the rest of the shop out from there. At the original HQ, we kind of had to work with the space that we had, whereas this one was a lot more open.
So this is where most of the builds go down. In this work bay, we have a car lift, we have our Ben Pack 3-layer car lift. That's just kind of for looks. This is how to do it. If you want to store multiple cars in your shop, this is how to do it.
And look cool doing it. We got our prized possession, the fake Lamborghini up there. Don't look too close. Obviously the boat car in between, and then the Duramax drift truck. It's awesome around here because what we did with this shop versus the main shop was set it up more so for wrenching and fabricating. As you can see, Gavin is working on something over here. What are you working on right now, Gavin?
It's not even worth mentioning.
It's not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, no.
You're gonna do them like that.
Big Wrench working on the Harley Quad reminds me of Hot Rod when he's just hammering on it. What are you guys doing? Oh, I was just working.
They heard us pull up. Quick! Start banging on something.
That's pretty much exactly what's going on right now over here.
Most of the serious builds that go down, they happen in here just because it's just set up better to be welding, fabricating. Obviously you got a heavy duty lift and way better tools. Like the tools around here, way more organized than our first shop, just because the first shop, that's back when we would touch the tools more. So some of them are lost, some of them are misplaced. Yeah, I mean, it's just dialed in here. Very, very nice. All Boxo tools, for those of you who are wondering.
The wrenches take responsibility of all the tools and the organization here, and they do a great job. The other cool thing is, like Boxo, a lot of companies came through to help us build this shop out. So Lev Rack came through with all the racking system, which we got the triple pit bike on, a couple retro dirt bikes. That one's from 86, that one's from 89, a cooler cart, and then the world's fastest lawnmower. That's got a 450 quad motor in it. So it's kind of cool to put like the different builds on display, being that they all get built in this shop. And then in this shipping container, just like the shipping containers over at the main shop, we use it to keep things organized. So the lev racks come through for that. We got a bunch of different parts. We got RC cars, oil, light bars from Baja Designs. Like, honestly, I don't even know half the stuff we have. Like, this is a crazy light bar.
What is
and,
it,
I don't know. It's a crazy light bar, but Big Wrench and Gavin know every single part that we have in the inventory to use for future builds. Over here, which has been a crazy addition to the shop to save time, is our friends over at Bolts and Nuts came through with every single different bolt and nut configuration that you can imagine. And then when you run out of it, you just scan this little QR code and they send you whatever bolts and nuts that you ran out of and send it straight to your door. So this has been such a game changer for just the overall success and timeliness of these builds, because the boys are cranking them out over here.
One thing I'll say about the farm shop versus the main shop is everything is so much more organized. And that's thanks to Big Wrench and Gavin. So it is nice, because I'll be like, hey, where's the portable air compressor? They'll be like, third cabinet from the left. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
And then they always follow it up with, make sure you put it back.
We still do keep the trend though with the shipping containers kind of just being, you know, just stuff. But it's all very important stuff. Obviously, as you can see, we have tires, we have totes, we have more tires, gas cans.
And then over here, which has been one of the latest additions to the shop, a tire changing machine from Benpack, which has been so clutch in just saving time. Like the nuts and bolts, when we need it, we have to run to town, run back. Half the time we get the wrong thing and that eats up an hour. Whereas now, especially with the drift track, we're going through tires like crazy. And so Gavin has got this thing dialed in. He can pull the wheels off whatever rig we're working on with this lift right here, put it on here, swap the tires out, and be back on the track within 10-15 minutes.
The one thing I will say that could be better at this shop is our sign. It burnt out not even a year into owning it, and we just haven't taken the time to pull it down, because it's a pain in the ass to honestly pull down and then get fixed.
It's supposed to be an LED sign, so it does light up, and it does look really good when it is lit up, but yeah, like CJ said, it burnt out in like 3 months after we had put it up there. But we wanted the feel of this shop to feel like you're watching a CboysTV video and you know exactly the setting of it, but we wanted obviously to change up the colors of it. We wanted to change up the brick. But as far as like the shipping container location with the hex lights underneath, you know, as soon as you click on a YouTube video and you see that setting, whether it's blue or red, you're watching a CBoys video.
Yeah, we definitely put more money into this than we did the main shop when we were renovating it, just because we obviously had more.
Look how wide this stair setup is.
And just like the nicest carpet, which like I still feel bad every day I step on it. We got the YouTube play button here. Mics that actually was surfed this summer. They surfed it. So if you're wondering, a 1 million subscriber play button can be surfed right next to Mike's office.
Doesn't look too bad in here for a hoarder. This is my office. I moved over to the farm. Dalton actually took my old office. Loving it over here so I can work back to back with Justin. It's nice having a view of the wrenches making things happen down there. Sometimes distracting, very noisy, but other than that, I love it here.
You definitely made your office pretty sick, Mike. I will say.
This is cool.
Like, you got a lot of stuff. You could damn near live in here.
Like, I haven't used this yet, but like a subscriber sent this pop-up hot dog toaster where you put the bun and the dogs in. I gotta use this thing.
So like Mike was saying, he's next to Justin because this is kind of, we call this like the merch hallway. Mike works on the merch, whether he's designing it or getting it print ready. Justin is our merchandise manager, who we'll get to at the end of this hallway here. But we also have this guest bedroom.
A little bunk bed action, you know we love them.
Just like the main shop, we constantly have homies coming over, and it's like a revolving door at the main shop and here. So the more beds, the better. They're usually getting used.
Ooh, Gav put a couch in here. So this is Gav, one of our wrenches you guys are familiar with. This is his office. It's actually looking pretty homey in here.
He's even got his boxing gloves. He's ready for round 2 with Jake, dude. He's ready for round 2. But yeah, so this is Gavin's office. He sits in here. He'll use it to like order parts or whatever supplies that we need for builds. And then over here, this is Justin's office. So Justin is our merchandise manager. He basically helps with like product sourcing, product ordering, all the people in the warehouse, he manages them, which we'll get to in a little bit.
So for example, we do a lot of our products completely custom, and when you're doing that, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of going back and forth, and Justin is the guy in the company that's dealing with the manufacturers to make boots like this and so many different products possible. It's more of a brand than just merch, right? We've been able to do really cool products like, you know, the boots, the cooler, every kind of hat that you can imagine possible. We're working on cool custom gear, a bunch of different jackets, mega hats like this. The website has turned from just t-shirts and hats and stickers into a full-on brand with so many different things, and it's because of adding people like Justin onto the team. And it's gotten to the point where even every time I go on the website, I'm amazed of like, wow, it's so cool that it's grown from, you know, us printing the t-shirts back in Ken's uncle's garage to just a full-on brand that we're able to ship out to all around the world. And thanks to you guys supporting us and making it possible, we just continue to reinvest back into it and make it even cooler.
Literally a dream come true, you guys. Like, I mean, it's the sickest thing to drop the coolest products and have people fired up about them, just like we are. Life Wide Open is a lot more than a brand to us, and to you guys it is as well. So we really appreciate that.
After this building, we'll head down to the merch warehouse, and you'll just see how much action is actually going on down there.
And then before we go upstairs, we'll show you the couple rooms that we have down here. This is kind of just like a mechanical room. The bathroom over here, MVP, you got to give a shout out to the bathroom. And then when you're sitting on the throne, you look up and you got a little bit of inspiration here. And then a pretty common theme throughout the entire shop, you know, you just got to keep everyone motivated. So you got the yes can do sign here, you got the no can do sign over here. Pretty much everywhere you look, you're gonna see Ken's face.
Ken Matthews for mayor.
Ken Matthews for mayor.
Ken is the most famous C-boy in
Hands
terms
down.
of his face.
Yeah.
And just,
The most signs on the property.
oh my God, just everywhere. I mean, whether it's the merch box truck, signs out in public.
Hundreds of thousands of people walking around with Ken's face on t-shirts.
Billboards around the area.
And Ken
Against
didn't
his
ask
will.
for any of it. Ken didn't ask for any of it. He was
Yeah.
living a normal life, but he was our friend. So
Yeah.
then he just got turned into this.
Yeah, it wasn't by choice. And then this room over here is just another guest bedroom. Spenny's kind of commandeered. He'd be in here right now, but he's currently in Canada getting his arm fixed. So once Spenny's feeling better, he'll be back here. And yeah, this is his room. Before we leave this building, we'll go upstairs and show you kind of the hangout area.
All right, so heading upstairs, something cool is Gavin actually built these stairs. So they're 3/8 inch steel, so they actually flex when you step. And they're a little bit springy, but that was done by design, so it's pretty cool. I've had some big guys over here, like over 300 pounds, and they were like, "Are you sure this is good?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's good, it's good." So we know it can hold a lot of weight, but it's cool. You basically walk up, you walk alongside the cars. We were able to actually make a better setup kitchen than the main shop, although we still only really eat at the main shop. Jen always brings lunch over to the main shop just because that's where we mostly happen to be.
Look at this, more pillows. Look, Ken's face is everywhere you look.
Nice couch. We'll sometimes watch like the videos when they drop on Thursdays here, but very rarely, normally at the main shop. Do a little fridge check.
Gotta rip the fridge check. Oh wow, got a lot of energy and booze. It looks like
Those have
here.
been in there for over a year.
Corn dogs.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
This kitchen is nicer in every way than our kitchen at the main shop, and it just never gets used.
Just ripping a bottle of Sauv Blanc at work, dude. Twisted tea is one thing, but we got Sauv Blanc, dude. You can tell that Mike works here because we got the industrial roller. That's keeping the dogs.
Yeah, dude. That's from his hot dog stand.
Dude, Ryan,
Yo, when Mike shows up to work in the morning, he just, you know, wanders up, gets a cup of coffee, fires up the hot dog roller so it's good for the rest of the day, and then goes about his day. So we have one of these at the main shop as well, but it's kind of like a peep screen above the door that has access to the security camera, so you could swap which security camera you want on it, but we can see if somebody's pulling up. Oh, like somebody right now is pulling up down the driveway. So if you're in the back of the shop over there and you are wondering who's here, or if FedEx is out front, you can just look up, and being that there's no windows on this side of the shop, you can still kind of have an idea of what's going on. But this was Ken's addition to see if he needs to avoid whoever's coming up the driveway, like a pissed off husband's coming up the driveway, you know? Ken goes in the bathroom for the next hour.
Hi, how's it going? You guys camp? Camping down there, actually, on the back of the truck. Yeah, thanks.
All right, next spot we're gonna go to is the cold storage barn. All right, so there was 2 buildings on this farm property when we bought it. Actually 3. One of them was a chicken coop. Evan drove a truck through and we ended up having to tear it down. But it was the very first shop that we just came from, and then this cold storage shop down here below. We call it the retirement home. It's not where vehicles go when they're dead. It's where vehicles go when they're just tired.
Purgatory, if you will. of my favorite places to bring people when we're showing them around the shop because there's so much stuff. Like everywhere else, we're like, nice, nice, nice. But your eyes go wide in here because there's 9 years of CboysTV history in this barn. We got all of our shifter carts lined up here, a pile of R6 frames, remnant of the screen print press that we used to print our t-shirts on. This barn just like holds so many different memories and so much stuff.
My favorite part about this storage barn is that it's very similar to our videos. We keep the variety very large. And dude, the variety in here is insane. From that contraption to that contraption to, I mean, we got the slingshot and the hot dog cart and the John Deere back here, Ryan's Exo car.
Dude, a lot of people come back here and there's like, how do you keep track of all this stuff? And we're like, we don't.
With all the asphalt that we've laid, it would be great to have a non-dusty floor in here. But I feel like if we pave this in here, then it would make it too nice for some of this stuff. One of the most impressive things in here is our tire storage. So we've got freaking standard Bronco rims here for Broncos we don't even own anymore. Lamborghini studded tires for the ice. The SEMA truck track tires.
We wouldn't want to rebuild these.
A lot of tires is pretty nice. If you ever need tires for a rig, we're almost guaranteed to have what you need back here.
Dude, yeah. You have so much stuff in here that really could be auctioned off.
We might be forced into doing it because we're out of room. And like Ryan said, like if we build another shop, we're gonna just hoard more stuff, and for the overall, it's probably not good. So we probably do need to cut ties with a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Every single vehicle in here has a story, has a video behind it. And we have 500 videos at this point. So you gotta assume that it's a lot of vehicles.
So if we decide that whatever was in the barn doesn't deserve a roof anymore, we have a junkyard behind the barn, which I think we've described as the junkyard.
Dude, they're just staging areas at this point.
We got a bunch of batteries here that we got to throw in the ocean.
The next time we go to the ocean, dude, this is a crazy amount of batteries.
We probably have all the oil from changing the oil in our vehicles from like 2018. Same for batteries, I see.
Few shit golf carts. Oh, more than a few. We got 4 back here?
Bro, this is crazy.
Why do we have so many golf carts?
This is insane. So obviously the 3-wheeler Harley Davidson cart. We
Another
bought
Harley-Davidson.
another 3-wheeler Harley Davidson cart. Ken's neighbor called him and was like, hey, I got this golf cart. Do you guys want it?
Of course.
You called the right guys, of course.
Well,
we don't ask questions of what shape it's in.
Well,
we should have on this one. This thing's a piece of shit. I'm sorry, Ken.
Yeah,
but what
no,
are you?
It is bad.
Yeah.
But now we have parts for the other one.
My favorite part about back here though is Mike's storage shed that he got. He got a fabric building to keep some of his stuff under
That's
cover.
your favorite part?
Yeah, I think that's funny.
A green box?
I think you should set it up.
I would love to. I'm worried wherever I set it up, you guys are gonna go, why the f did Micah set it up there? So I just have it.
Set it up. I think it'll be funny.
Alright, I'll set it up.
So we got remnants of Mike's first skate park that he put in Ken's warehouse when he first built it, and Ken freaked out and drug it all out.
I got rid of that very quick.
This is one of the bigger square footages of video bit. Like I genuinely don't know what to do with this skateboard.
It's not worth getting rid of because who knows when you need to send another R6 into orbit.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
It is crazy though, like we got all these crashed vehicles back here as well, from obviously the Mud Mustang to the plow truck,
The Hinder Finder.
the Hinder Finder, or the plow truck that Ken drove into his house. Your Cybertruck, Ken, really?
Oh yeah, that just needs a new motor and it'll be good to go.
It has a tree growing through it darn near. What the?
All right, we got a couple more vehicles here. Oh, this one ran into the
Chicken coop.
Ken, right? Ran into Ken.
Oh shit! Ah! Oh! Wait, did I drive?
No, you were driving this.
Oh,
Evan,
Ken.
I hit Evan or Evan hit me. I don't remember how it went.
Oh! Oh my
We
gosh!
got the Subaru WRX rally car.
This thing's actually pretty. It was nice. It was nice.
It's honestly, it's probably too nice to be sitting back in the junkyard. This one would probably be a perfect candidate for sitting in the storage unit.
There's just not enough room.
It was in the storage unit for a while, and then it got kicked outside by other things.
Here we've got Micah's drift car that he bought during his junk tank.
It's not a drift car, it's just his BMW.
Why does everyone call all my cars drift cars?
I don't know. What did you buy it for?
I just think they're pieces of shit. We figured you were gonna drift them.
I don't know why I bought it.
We told you not to.
I know.
You have legitimately driven this thing twice in the last year.
You guys are right sometimes.
This definitely could go to scrap. Why is this still here?
Why do we still have this?
Might still be good. Might still be good. We didn't even have the courtesy of storing this on 3 wheels. We didn't have the courtesy of storing it on 3 wheels. Why did it get put like that? This is Gavin's trike.
Yeah.
Of course it's a trike.
Why do we have these tires here? What are these tires here for?
Like a normal mechanic shop, they have a place to drop their oil, they have a place to drop their batteries, and they have a place for their tires. We just don't.
1, 3, 2, 1. Ow. There we go. I mean, those sleds are probably still good.
When they were parked.
They ran when parked. One of the first 3 mini trucks that we had. This thing's probably still good, honestly. Mini truck that we put the rollover bar on. And then right here, this is our Baja Ranger. That's a pretty big turd, but we put American Force wheels on it. Like, this is like a $12,000 wheel setup.
Pretty sick.
We gotta actually take these wheels off and put them somewhere nice. Like, these things don't deserve to be sitting out here.
This video was slept on, this segment. This thing was great.
It was great. I bet they still run too.
Yeah, you have to start every single one of them individually, but yeah. And then over here is kind of just where wood and brush and then like old furniture has gotten thrown. Normally like once a year, once it gets big enough, we start it on fire and we'll all stand around it and drink a beer and then the cops come.
And then on to some of the most content producing vehicles that we have are school buses, which usually aren't even trying to make content with them. Like the last time that we tried to move them, Evan ended up pulling our friend Gavin through a fence.
He didn't pull Gavin.
Yeah, that's right. Gavin was not in it. The short school bus, the thing is super bent up from when Evan jumped it. Like, I don't even know how it can get this bent.
Still chugging along like it's fine.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
Dude, these things are pretty indestructible, right? We taught our blind designer how to drive in one of them. He ended up plowing through a bunch of different cars. And then obviously you saw the other school bus go through our neighbor's fence. That thing ended up being fine. He even hit a skid steer. The school buses, they're ready for another day.
Right here we have our houseboat, which is prepared for enduring the winter. After it goes through the winter, our plan is to put it on the pond on our dirt bike track. And I think Evan might honestly move into it. He'll have a house on a pond on a dirt bike track. It's like his dream. But yeah, this video was super fun to film. I mean, it turned out amazing. I do think we still need to take all the booze out of the walls though, because Evan and Ken stocked it full of booze.
You gotta take those out.
You gotta take those out. If you want to put them in, that's fine, but you gotta take them out.
So when we got this, it was pretty much a blank slate that it really just had the exterior, so we outfitted the entire interior of it. And I gotta say, most times, as you guys have seen when we're done filming videos, our vehicles are worth damn near nothing at the end of them. This is what we call an appreciating asset. House prices are going up. We got ourselves a little nest egg right here, boys.
This was the first time we ever filmed a video, and the vehicle we used in the video was worth more than when we started. We've never done that before. It was a big moment.
Bro, what are you doing?
Ken, it's like 11 in the morning.
It's noon.
On to the latest addition to the farm property that we actually just got finished building, the merch barn.
We had to put those up for Ken.
First thing we got a little break room and a kitchen back here.
You know it's legit when there's a vending machine. When I walked in here and there was a vending machine, I was like, holy shit, we made it.
I do love that we have such a good team now. We have over 22 employees and everyone is so dialed. Everyone knows what they're doing, and that's my favorite part about walking in here. Everyone knows what they're doing. They're doing a thing that I don't even really know. Like this vending machine, I walk in, I go, oh, we got a vending machine now.
You know what my favorite part is? There's 2 bathrooms here, but Ken still comes over to the main shop, takes his shit and leaves and comes back.
I think Ken was initially trying to claim this one. He had one of those like like locks on
Locking
it. But
key.
then we're like, Ken, you can't have your own bathroom.
I had an electronic lock on it for a little bit, but we just got too many people in here now. I just couldn't justify
Nice,
it.
you know,
that-
what a leader Ken is.
Don't use my
Giving up his
bathroom.
bathroom.
I don't know who buys these, but someone does, probably us. And they stay pretty stocked with energy drinks. Joe, check the pallet of bubbler though. There's a lot of energy drinks in here. First up, I think we should check out the customer service. So when you go up here, this is where customer service is. He basically handles all of your guys' emails if you're wondering where your order is, or if you need to switch sizes, or you need to return something. He's up here dealing with all that.
Yeah, like CJ was saying though, is we have a team of 25-ish people now that work for us. So it's definitely grown out of, you know, where it started back in the old days. But I will say the main thing about all the guys that we have working for us and girl is they care. And you know, it just shows in everything that we do. And that's why we invested so much back into building this warehouse and the expansion here. Is we wanted to keep it in-house, and we wanted to have our touch on it, and make sure that the quality of the merch that was going out was where we wanted it, to make sure that the orders were going out quick. And the only way to do that is to build the systems ourselves and invest back into the people that are able to do it. And that's what we did. And we got an awesome team that helps get the orders out the door.
We got rows and rows and rows of t-shirts and everything that's inventoried on our website, and everything gets shipped out of this building.
It still blows my mind every time I come in here. Like, I really don't know what they're doing at this point. The team is so dialed, they can do it without our input at this point. Like, look at them. I don't know where they're going right now or what they're doing, but I know they're doing a good job. All right, I'm gonna fulfill an order here. So this one is for, look at that, running. This one is for Eli King. I'm gonna sign it. Eli, you know that I fulfilled this order. If it's messed up, blame me, not the rest of the guys. First thing, Supply Co. hat, H21. Last one, actually. All right, we got the products. Now we'll go pack them. Fellas, now what do I do? Scan the barcode. Okay. Label gets printed out. Stickers go in every single order.
This goes into this machine.
All right, drop the hat in. Label goes on the back.
Through the machine.
Orders processed, ready to go out the door. And I promise these guys are a lot better at doing that than I am. Dude, it's like the little things. Like when I walked in here and saw that we got a box taper, I was like, a box taper? That's awesome.
We have actually done, or at least had a hand in, every single part of our business. So like at one point I was packaging the orders, so I know what it's like just running a tape gun. We were printing the t-shirts, we were doing the customer service. Obviously Mike was doing the designs, and it's just cool to see it being evolved.
Grown from us sitting in a basement taping these boxes to a full-on box taping machine.
Yeah.
A box taping machine.
We built this building last year. We thought it was going to be more than enough space for at least a couple years, and we filled it up by Black Friday last year. Like it was nothing.
So the first one was 7,500 square feet. This is 13,000 square feet, the addition. So I don't know, you do the math, put it on the screen. That's how much square footage we have for our warehouse.
We intentionally overbuilt this one, hoping that we would take a little longer to fill it up. And as you guys have seen, we've been shooting in the back half of it a little bit more, which is fun. It's nice to have that space, especially this winter when it's cold.
Ideally, this will be filled up with merch. Hopefully not all our merch. We want to start helping other YouTubers with just their designs, their fulfillment. Most people don't have the system built out like we do, so we think we can help a lot of people with that. And we've been doing that actually with our friend Gavin, Shred80. So his merchandise comes out of here.
Bro, look at these! Oh my god! Three more box tapers?
These are huge.
Bro!
These are getting installed
Hey,
next
you
week.
weren't kidding, dude.
I don't know why I'm so excited, but it's just like the development is just so sick. It's so exciting.
We obviously got our Corvettes from our last giveaway. They're waiting to go to their new homes. We're just waiting on the shipper to come pick them up and bring them to their house. Some golf carts from this year's Reckless Golfing. Got the G-Wagon, the TRX, Ryan's Hummer, and obviously the Star Car right next to it. This is like the nicer area, so we're trying to store some of the nicer stuff in here. But, you know, we got to draw the line somewhere, and that's why some of that stuff's outside.
Like I said, they're all getting shifted to just different staging areas. The quality of staging area. Now you got the junkyard, cold storage. Now you got the back of the merch barn. And then over here, this is my wakeboard boat I've had for the past 3 years now. I've never shown it on camera. We've never filmed with it at all, but it's a Supra SR 400, black on the outside, red on the inside. You know I love red. I wish the whole thing was red, honestly. Red guts and red exterior, but it's a great boat.
Final vehicle in here is the box truck. We use that every day to pick up stuff from our manufacturers and everything. It's the most critical thing in this merch operation.
But tell us, Ken, is it growing on you?
It has grown on me.
You liking it?
Yeah.
Good.
Speaking of investing in the properties, I just got an invoice for the asphalt on the driveway.
Oh boy.
Any guesses?
I mean, I'll just guess what they quoted us at 150.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be higher.
169.
And the total bill due on the asphalt is $186,000.
Where'd the overage come from?
So that's crazy. But yeah, I think that concludes the end of the CBoys compound tour. This isn't your typical CBoys video, so if this is the first time watching, hit subscribe, and we'll be back next week with a normal CBoys video. Thank you guys so much for watching the videos and supporting us, whether it's buying merch or just watching the videos and making this possible, because from where it started to where it is now, we're all incredibly grateful, and we know that wouldn't have happened without your guys' support. So hit subscribe. We either just hit 5 million subscribers or we're about to, which is insane. We're so stoked on that. So thank you guys for subscribing, and we'll see you next video.
We just got another bill.
For what?
For those box tapers. 60 grand.
Holy.
20 grand a piece for that thing?
Ken.
$20,000 a piece on the box tapers? I don't know if I think they're as sick as I did. I was pretty stoked on them until seeing that. CboysTV.com. Go buy a t-shirt so we don't bankrupt ourselves. Wow.